My name is Regina. I'm 33 years old. I'm from Mount Shasta, California, but originally from New York. For the last 10 months, I've lived experiences in the communities of light of Aurora and of Figueira, and this is my testimony of faith. I was living in New York City, and I set up my life so that I'd be very busy. I loved to work. I would work 12-hour days, and I had a big social life. So I liked fashion, fancy dinners. I liked parties. I had a lot of questions that I wanted answers to, and I was looking everywhere to try to find them, but I couldn't find them. I was looking in the world, changing my job a lot, changing my apartment. I liked to just always be busy, so I didn't have to really explore what that void was inside of me. So when I was living in New York City, I was very happy because it's the city that never sleeps. You can be distracted all day and all night. And there, I was just actually becoming very desperate because my soul was like screaming for something else. So I think when you truly realize I surrender, like I give up, that's when the help comes. And I met these two women, and they were so calm inside, like they had a sparkle in their eye. And I would talk to them, and I thought, I want what you have. And I recognized something in them, so I would spend time with them, and I asked them, what is this? They taught me about prayer, and they introduced me to the Divina Madre website, and I couldn't believe it was so simple, but this is what they do, and this is what they believe in, and for me it was also very clear that this rosary was going to change my life for sure. After being introduced to Divina Madre, so this along with following some of the apparitions and prayer, which I'll admit was a very slow process for me. In the beginning, it was a challenge, but I noticed a change once I started to become more serious about my prayer work. I remember there being a moment in my time in New York City when I said, okay, every morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do at least an hour and a half of prayer. And I did it, and it became a lot easier, surprisingly, and then things started to change rapidly. Internally, I remember waking up one morning and I thought, I'm ready to change, and I think I'm gonna move out of New York City tomorrow. When I made the decision to move out west to Mount Shasta, I made the decision on November 1st, and I knew that I'd reach there by December 1st. And then it was November 20th, something like that, where Mother Mary announced that she'd be coming to the United States, and she'd be coming to San Francisco, which happened to be the same state that I was moving to. So this was a miracle for me. And after that announcement, I'm in Mount Shasta. I traveled to San Francisco, was able to participate in the sacred call and apparition of our mother. I was able to consecrate as Child of Mary, which was like a big dream for me because I watched so many children consecrating all over the world all the time through the television, and there I was with this opportunity. And then when we were there in San Francisco, then the announcement was, the next place we'll pilgrimage to is Mount Shasta. I think after these moments, this is when everything started to flow better in my life. When I stopped trying to make all those plans or cover up my void, it was all opening for me. When I was living in Mount Shasta, there I was able to be amongst many people that also have this spark in their eyes. They also live in devotion, and I got to spend a lot of time with the monastery and praying in the nucleus, and things accelerated for me and changed. My priorities changed a lot, and I was able to surrender a lot of external things in the last 6 months. I've surrendered the home I was living in. I've committed to living in community, which just kind of happened, which was a big change for me because I was living like a hermit for so long. But I realized that the missing element for me in my relationship with prayer has been community. I've been able to spend 2 months in Figueira in Aurora for 5 months, and every day is different. It's not always easy. Here we really grow and stretch ourselves, and we're asked to do tasks that maybe normally we would say no to, but here we know that the divine is asking us to do these things. So we really have opportunity to mature, to grow, to really express our love for Christ. And at the same time, we're also having a lot of fun. So I'm really happy that I took this step in the past to clear my schedule, stop with my social life, stop with the excuses, the busyness, and make room, because now I've found myself very busy, but in work for the plan, work for Christ, and a lot of support from all of my brothers and sisters here. I'm so glad that I made space and room in my life for this, because it's the most fulfilling and fun thing that you could do. My first marathon I was able to participate in was while I was staying in Figueira, and it was a very strong experience for me because I remembered the times alone in my apartment going through a marathon, praying 1,500 beads, and it's a beautiful, deep experience to do by yourself, a deep cleaner for sure. But there's something so amazing about being able to be alongside all these other people praying in devotion that really love Mary, really love Christ, really love Saint Joseph. It's a different experience, and the energy that builds in the room.
Oh my Lord, I want to be in your eternal love.
When I was in Figueira, I was able to have the sacrament of the unction, and it was very powerful to me. Actually, I was starting to become a little bit nervous for some reason when I was approaching the priest. And then he put his hand on my head first and started to make the sign of the cross. And I became so calm. I knew for sure this was Christ that was giving me the unctions. I just felt, oh, I met Christ.
Oh my Lord, I want to live in your merciful
Benditos sean los que escuchan sin temor alguno y que solo buscan la verdad, para que estén dentro de mi sabiduría y para que dentro de este momento cruel que vive la humanidad puedan caminar libres, llevando el amor de mi corazón hacia donde vayan, y para los que más lo necesitan. Pero a pesar de que ese escenario se encuentre de esa forma, aquí en este planeta, despiertan nuevos Cristos, que conocerán que es estar vacío de sí y entregado al nada, para que el espíritu arrebatador del amor de Dios los transforme por entero No pierdan la oportunidad de amar. No pierdan la oportunidad de servir. No pierdan la oportunidad de convertir sus vidas según mi mensaje. Porque esta es la nueva parábola que yo les traigo. Ustedes deben superarme en el amor, porque sé que lo pueden hacer, aunque no lo crean.
My life now is so much better. I feel so much more full. I accept everything that happens. I accept every day. When things aren't going exactly the way that I would so desire, I know it's okay. I know everything's a lesson from Christ. This planet that we're on is really a school, and we have the best teacher. Many times we say the prayer, "Thank you, Lord, for all that you give us." And sometimes we could also say, "And thank you for all that you do not give to us," because this too is also very helpful. And if we could keep that in mind, I think we could be a little less irritated, a little more accepting, and a little more in the state of love. And I think this is also what a Christ of the new time is being called to do, is just to realize every moment that we're living is divine, and spirituality is in everything, not just when we're praying or doing some spiritual task. It's every movement that we make. I've been able to personally experience mercy from Christ, from Mary, because the way that I was living my life before, I now have a second chance, and I can feel that I've been forgiven. I don't have to live with guilt anymore. I don't have to live with uncertainty. I feel purposeful, and I feel full, and I feel accepting for whatever God has in store for me. Whether maybe I may like it in the moment or not, I feel much more open, and I feel this is achieved with mercy. And I'm so thankful for having this opportunity. It feels like mercy is something you receive when you really trust and really open, and when you really ask and clamor for help from above. You'll receive the mercy.